And everybody, Sim Razor with Revere Asset Management just after 3 o'clock here on a Wednesday night. So very quickly, stock nerds and market lovers, before you and I begin. Look, a couple things that we're going to do tonight is spy a short. We're going to talk about that, okay? I'm going to show you a setup. I want to talk about bullish setups in Ethereum, Bitcoin. I want to talk about setups in Tesla. Let's do Square, right? Let's take a gander at Square. And then how about some XLF? We'll take a look at all those, okay? But before we begin, last week talked about this on the Wednesday video just 7 short days ago is SPY short. So if you want to see how these types of things play out, we never pull videos down, whether we're right, wrong, and different. We just we leave them up there as an anthology so you can back test us. And take a look at how we perform our work on a daily basis. So you can go back and watch that video. The answer is yes, SPY was a short, but it's based on technical setups, and I'm going to give you another one here in a few moments. But I always think it helps to go back and use these videos as kind of teaching tools if you have the time to go do that. And then look right here, this video from this podcast, and you can find this in the podcast app or on your favorite podcasting software, but it helps if you watch the video of it, which you can find in the podcasting tab. September 10th, mastering the tick explosion trade. I teach you this trade, and then it presented itself again, and I cover it right at the top of this video. I believe I do on September 17th, just last Friday. And that same tick explosion trade, the reason why I'm telling you this, it presented itself gloriously on Monday as well. And so if you're following that trade or trying to execute that trade and you have any questions about it, never ever hesitate to contact me, tim@revereasset.com. I'll give you another way to get a hold of me too. And then what separates us stock nerds market lovers from every other shop in the free world in China is that we give you access to the people that make the decisions in the portfolios day in and day out. You do not get that at stripmalladvisor.com. If you want to know what Don's thinking about the portfolios, what stocks he's putting in there, what's on his watch list, same thing with Alex and Hunter, call, email them. They are available to you whether you're a client of the firm or not. And then look, you want to talk to America's fiduciary here. Like maybe you're told life insurance is an investment, which is illegal, by the way. It's not. You got to email us. You got to call Danny. You want to talk about how becoming a client of the firm, or what it's like to be a client of the firm, or how you could follow along with the trades to see if being a client of the firm is for you. Email America's fiduciary, Dan@revereasset.com. The easiest thing to do, by the way, is call us at 855-732-5932. That's 855. Real wealth. And in stock nerds market lovers, these videos, they are for what? Oh, before I do that, the other way to get a hold of me, the easiest way to get a hold of me, by the way, is where the IPO club gets a hold of me on a daily basis, multiple times a day at TJ Reazor. Look, there's a group of folks just like you that want more knowledge. They want interaction. They want to be a community around Revere Asset, and we give you that opportunity. Just email me, Tim@Revere Asset, or you can email me or just find me on Twitter at TJ Reazor. Whether you like Twitter or not, that's really not the point here. It's that you can connect with a group of people that are just on a back channel of Twitter. You access them through what's known as direct messages, and they're all in the same group talking to each other all day about the things that we discuss in the videos. And so it's just continuous learning, continuous knowledge sharing with a group of like-minded people who just want to get better, and they're super nice and they want to help each other. They don't allow no snark, man. I'm telling you, they do not allow no cynicism. All they do is love and teach and be happy for everyone's successes. So that's the IPO club. So okay, look at TJ Reazor, how you get a hold of me now. Stock Nerds Market Brothers. These videos are for what? Your edification purposes only. The never ever to be misconstrued advice. When anybody seek advice or seek advice, all you have to do is in fact give us a call. So let's talk about today here. We're going to work hourly charts to daily charts on all the indices here, okay? S&Ps. So look, what you can't see, let me just get this on the screen a little bit for you. Whenever I want to see how the market behaves after the market has changed character, I go and find a fib retracement. And you could, if you saw this, you would see this is a 50% retracement from the last time the market shifted. I had found resistance last week on Thursday and Friday, and then it couldn't get above this 50% retracement here, and then timber, and now it's kind of struggling Struggling is, you know, like with a market up a percent, struggling is a tough word to use. So let me just say that if you look here at the 618, it's not getting above there right now currently, and it's kind of using, it's kind of finding a little bit of resistance here right now, this hour, around that 50% retracement. Are the S&Ps assured based on this chart? Uh, no, and by the way, it's a market, so anything can happen. But when I look at the daily chart here, what do you notice, and what do I notice that has happened here? So S&Ps break the 21, right? Always the telltale sign. We're daily chart here. S&Ps can't, they get rejected by this purple line, the 5, rejected by the purple line, the 5, rejected by the 8 and the 5 so far. And so, yeah, like if you're just taking a technical short, like, okay, we've found rejection here again, what are the chances that we do what? We go back, and I think what might happen here, and just because I think it doesn't mean it's going to happen, I think what there is a chance of happening, he's telling me there's a chance that you come back down and you test this overnight low from last night. I think there's a chance that you do that. Now, do we have to do that? No, sirree, we don't. There's some open interest. How do I have this on SPY? There's some open interest down at this level. You can see the contracts on SPY a little bit more here, but let me show you on SPX. And that move is $5.20, but it's easier to little calculation here at on SPX. If the numbers, there they go. So that would be 43.25. So the numbers, because SPYs are cheaper contracts, you can see it's on the put side here with 3,000. There's 4,000, almost 5,000 up at 43.75. Why not 43.75? You could do that too. Look, that expected move of $51, that kind of takes you like right down in that zone. If you fail here and you fail at this 21, even though we're on an hourly chart, you're probably going to come back and retest. You don't have to, okay? And if you're uncomfortable with any of that, don't just play along at home. These videos are for edification. They're not for you to willy-nilly take action on because I said so or anybody else said so. So I always say paper trade it if you want to participate and you have some questions like this. So now, Jay Powell said a lot of things today. The market hasn't decided what it thinks about what Jay Powell said today. And you might be thinking, well, Tim, the market's up 1%. Clearly, it liked what Jay Powell had to say. Didn't hate it enough to sell it off. Also didn't go out at the highs. And so let me give you a bullish scenario here about what could happen. So I gave you the bearish scenario. But if you clear this 618, so if you clear this little 618, you're probably coming up to this shelf, like right in here, like this little zone here. And that zone is 44.16. If you clear that 44.16 zone, I would suspect you come up here to this little zone here. And we'll just call that 44.60. 44.60. So the market hasn't decided what it thinks of what Jay Powell had to say. And so if you fail here, there's probably a really good chance you retest these recent lows. If you break out of this 618 retracement, which is 44.07 for lack of a better, for just rounding up purposes, 44.16, you break out of 44.16, you're probably coming up to 44.60. That's really dry, isn't it? And the reason why it's so granular is because this isn't clear. Like this is a bearish chart, but you can get some really strong rallies in from bearish charts. It's got to clear. You got to clear that 50% 618 retracement for this to get bullish. And so until you do that, it is still a bearish chart, my friends. So let's do Nasdaq. Let's look at the old Nasdaq. So Nasdaq on an hourly basis, it's the same story, right? You're struggling here at the 50% retracement. Can you clear it? Yeah, man, the Nasdaq can be super strong. You know that. I'm not telling you anything new here. And so on a daily chart, what does that look like? Yeah, that's a bearish chart. It's the same kind of chart as the S&Ps, right? How about the Dow? because the Dow's up over 1% today. Super good, Tim. Super bearish looking chart, right? And then we're like, let's go to the hourly. The hourly. And look, to say that, you know, markets in hell with a handbasket, we're just like, you're skipping a jump away from all-time highs. So let's not overreact here, okay? Yeah, you're the same kind of chart, right? 50% retracement rejected the 618. The difference here to me is the RTY. Look at that, up to 786. Small caps trying, right? But where did they get stymied at today? They got stymied at the 21, the 34, the 21, the 50. Like they got 3 rejections. They asked 3 people to the prom, and they all said no. And so, you know, could have finished stronger is what I'm saying. Hard to say a move of 1.65% on a Fed day is bearish, but these kind of rejections are interesting to say the least. Okay, so enough of the indices. Let me show you the dollar here. The dollar is interesting. Don's been all over the dollar. Like the dollar here is, one could say, you know, there's the mean. It's up, approaching plus 2 ATR. It started to pull back at plus 2 ATR. And it's really interesting to me here. And here, I can give you the bullish case for the markets real quick. Like, okay, we know that when S&Ps got towards, after options expiration, towards the third week of the month, after the third week of the month, the dollar started to pull back and markets started to march higher. Well, if this is the point that dollar wants to pull back, our market's about to march higher again. Probably. Now, I'm going to show you this chart on a 3-day time frame. And so let me show you this. This is a bullish chart, super duper bullish. I mean, I really like this pattern. And so I got a 5 coming through an 8, and look at this, 93.76. That's kind of is that the high for the year? Yeah, that's like the high for the year. Like we are right now currently at just a stone's throw about the high of the year. My thought is that if you reach for the stars, let me show you this one now. Chart. Yeah, look at this. It's reaching for the stars. That's that, you know, 0.25%. But if you come up here and reach higher and take out the high, does the dollar run a little bit? Does it get up to that third ATR? Does it get up there? And when's the last time it was up that third ATR? Yeah, it was in June. The market was a little soft in June, if you remember. And so, yeah, I mean, you really, I think you want to pay attention to what the dollar's doing here and potentially take your cues. You're like, well, the dollar was up today and the markets were up. Yeah, now one of these is not going to win. And the dollar's got a pretty good track record currently of kind of letting you know where the markets potentially are headed. They're inverse correlations. So let's now go to some things I previewed at the top of the video. How about some Ethereum? ETH. What a day for Ethereum. You're like, Tim, what is so great about that chart? It got rejected at the 5-2. Well, now I'm going to show you a little weekly chart action here. And this kind of goes with, you know, if inflation's going to keep moving, and we'll see if TNX signals anything about rates. You know, does TNX signal some kind of interesting? This is a weekly chart of rates of yield. Then assets, you know, asset type things like ETH, they're going to bloom. And so, where do you buy things off the weekly chart? Yeah, at the mean. This is a perfect balance at the mean here of ETH. By the way, SPX, that's a perfect balance so far at the mean. And so now you're just kind of trading in a range. And it's like, well, does that range break up a little bit higher or come back down to test recent lows? This ETH chart, though, I like. How about Bitcoin? Let's do the two, the big two. Yeah, I like that weekly chart of Bitcoin. I like that weekly chart of Ethereum. And then if we take it, let's go to a daily chart here. What about XLF? Talked about the financials here, XLF. And you're like, Tim, what is so great about XLF here? Kind of up here at the 50. Let's put this on an ATR chart here, and then we'll put it back to a weekly. Yeah, it could XLF be trying to get something going here. And I think that's going to be a function more of TNX, okay? And so you can watch those, because if TNX is going higher, there's a good chance the XLF goes higher. Is this actionable right now? No, not yet, but it might be here, lickety split. How about Square? I like Square here. How about Square? Yeah, look at that off the weekly right there. No, earnings aren't until November. Okay, so plenty of time. That's a nice looking weekly chart there. It's a good looking chart there, Earl. And so I like that Square chart. But let's take a look on Square. Let's get this on a daily. And it's trying to peak its way up there, but let's get on a 2-day and a 3-day. That 2-day. So what am I showing here? I'm showing that coming back through the 21. The 5 is trying to come through the 8. It's just a nice looking chart. How about the 3-day? Oh, I like that chart. That's a nice looking there chart, Ed, of Square on the 3-day. And then we'll do one more here. Let's just do Tesla. So what's Tesla doing? Wow, on the 3-day, look at this. Boy, that's my jam right there. Consolidation. I'll show you this on the daily. Now, look, Tesla, I mean, you got the 5 trying to come through the 8. Tesla is most likely going to do what? Follow the S&Ps. It's like the 10th largest holding, I believe, in S&Ps. And so, yeah, if the S&Ps pull back, there's probably a good chance the Tesla pulls back. It doesn't have to, but that's a good looking chart too. And so, maybe do some study night on some Square, on some Tesla. Take a look at those chart patterns in ETH and BTC and see if they fit into your trading plan. So hopefully that'll help. Stock nerds, market lovers, listen. Any questions, we're always here for you. All you have to do is reach out to us. And with that, I will see you at the next update.